The young officer laughed. "Mom, this ID is either fake or you're a very confused librarian." But 30 seconds later, he'd be the one too scared to speak. Have you ever seen someone walk into a room and suddenly everyone else forgets their rank? This isn't about power. It's about legacy. So tell us, where are you watching this story from? In the next minutes, you'll meet a woman with no backup, no weapons, and no need to explain herself, because the system she entered was built by her hands. Every word in this story is rooted in how classified authority really works. If this kind of story chills you, if you believe real strength doesn't shout, it simply enters, subscribe to Sisterhood Speaks. Because here, we don't just tell stories. We reveal the women who were never meant to be seen. The ID looked ordinary. A plastic card, a faded photo, no flashy holograms. The guard twirled it between his fingers like it was a cheap toy from a cereal box. Behind him, another smirked. "What is this? A spy movie?" The woman didn't react. She stood still. White t-shirt, tucked into faded jeans. A navy blue windbreaker zipped halfway. Hair pulled back in a simple braid. No makeup, no jewelry, no sign she belonged in a place where access required a minimum of level 4 clearance. But that's exactly what made her dangerous. The guard scanned her badge, expecting a system error or an instant rejection. Instead, the scanner beeped once, then again, then froze. The monitors behind him flickered, then went dark. All of them. And then, the main wall lit up with a golden blue seal. A symbol no one in that room had ever seen before. Not in training. Not in any manual. "Is that classified?" someone whispered. Radios went silent. Phones disconnected. Every terminal entered lockdown. No one said a word. She still hadn't moved. Then, the gate unlocked, without a sound. The floor lights brightened slightly, just in her direction, and from a hallway no one had seen anyone enter, 2 men in black suits appeared. One stepped forward and gave a slight nod. "Agent Monroe, we've been expecting you." The young officer blinked. "She's with you?" The taller man didn't hesitate. "No," he said, "we're with her." That's when everything changed. Hierarchy dissolved, the smirks vanished, and a chill settled over the entire checkpoint. She walked forward, not in a rush, but with the slow certainty of someone who knew no one would dare stop her. Each security door ahead opened automatically. Lights adjusted as she passed. The ventilation system even quieted, like the building itself recognized her. In the surveillance room upstairs, 2 analysts scrambled to pull up her data. "Her ID bypassed all checkpoints," one said. The other squinted at the glowing symbol on the screen. "That's not an access card," he muttered. "That's a system override." "She's not just cleared," the first whispered. "She's embedded." Downstairs, the officer who mocked her was still frozen in place. He opened his mouth to speak, then closed it again. Because here's what no one teaches in training. Sometimes, the quiet ones don't need to prove who they are. They already did that years ago, when they helped write the protocols you're now using against them. She hadn't raised her voice. She hadn't threatened anyone. She hadn't even asked for help, because people like her don't ask. They signal, and the system answers. Somewhere deep inside the facility, old lines of code, long thought obsolete, came alive. Doors opened that hadn't been touched in years, and names hidden in classified files reappeared in logs no one even had clearance to see. Later that night, the logs would vanish again. Cameras would be wiped. No official record would remain. But every person at that checkpoint would remember the moment they realized they weren't in control. Because power doesn't always arrive in uniform. Sometimes it walks in wearing jeans, carrying an old badge no one recognizes, but everyone obeys. And from that day on, no one laughed again. Because when legacy walks in, protocol steps aside. If this story made you feel something, if it reminded you that silence can hold more power than rank, subscribe to Sisterhood Speaks and tell us in the comments, have you ever met a woman like her? One who doesn't need to speak loudly because the whole room already knows who she is.